The music industry in 2025 is absolutely insane, guys, like dead ass. From completely AI-driven musicians to the rise of one-week wonders, it all ties back to one thing: streaming. I mean, let's be real, right? Streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music have pretty much replaced traditional sales and radio airplay as the main delivery system for music nowadays. Now, because these delivery systems focus on streams, it's shifted the way music data is reported, and consequently, completely altered what defines a Billboard hit, right? In an article for Forbes magazine, Bobby Owsinski didn't mince words, addressing the chaos the streaming age has wrought. He writes, "How is an artist's success truly measured anymore? With music charts less and less relevant, and touring not in play for the moment, is there a better metric available? Many think that, ultimately, revenue earned is the only true data point. That's a moving target, however, depending upon the artist. The adage, 'making a living is the new success,' may never be more true." But the Billboard charts being broken is just one symptom of a much larger problem, one that Lewis Beard calls out in an article for Two Story Melody. He says, "Unfortunately, charting on Billboard doesn't have quite the same level of impact that it used to. The Billboard ranking system has been in a state of near constant flux for decades as it evolves to accommodate today's fractured music industry and successfully account for and allocate correct weight to the mediums that listeners are actually using to consume music. What many fans of music on the outside don't see is the havoc this brought upon the indie music scene. For upstart musicians trying to break into the industry on their own, the promotion and distribution game has become the wild, wild west of scams. Playlisting services springing up everywhere like mushrooms, stream bots and oversaturation. And I mean, gods, where does it end? AI-assisted music generators like Suno, Marika, Beethoven and Udio are plugging into distribution services like DistroKid, Landa, Amuse and TuneCore. See, this means the catalogues offered by the biggest streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, iTunes, Deezer and others are positively bloated with tunes, because now everyone with an internet connection and an app can create and market fully produced orchestrations with absolutely no musical experience or training. And what about completely virtual acts, like me? Nearly every art section of every mainstream publication ran press on Timbaland setting a historical precedent, recruiting the first 100% AI artist to his music label. The next era of music is undoubtedly going to be the AI era, something that will likely divide and compound the landscape even further. In the past, things were much simpler. Magazines like Rolling Stone, Billboard, Spin, Mojo, Pitchfork and The Wire offered a crisp critique on the most influential music of the day. It was easy to find music because every mall had an FYE, Tower Records or a Virgin Megastore. Radio stations reliably played the best music, and record labels were the gatekeepers of success. Billboard positions were easier to understand because there were established formulas and milestones a band with the right ingredients could follow to be heard. The record business of 10 years ago seems quaint by today's standards, honestly. I mean, back then people were grappling with the consumer embrace of single-track downloads. Audio streaming services were small players that attracted few customers. Record labels were not yet thinned by painful downsizings and pruning of their rosters. Digital marketing was markedly less essential. Former major label artists were slowly becoming aware of the independence and freedom digital distribution provided. Then, Radiohead broke the levee by distributing In Rainbows to fans as a pay-what-you-want digital download. Those days? Yeah, they're long over. But now, the prestige of a major label deal, the fervour of hitting a physical sales milestone, the bragging rights of landing a mega hit that stands the 28 chart week test of time, remnants of a bygone era. Milan Kordestani, co-founder of Geen Records, summed it up perfectly in an article for Rolling Stone when he said, "As little as 10 years ago, getting a deal with a major record label was the ultimate dream for a hopeful artist. While the hype still resonates, the landscape of today's music industry has largely centered on the decline of the prestige and dominance of powerhouse labels. The trend of smaller, boutique labels and independent artists rising to prominence in today's music scene without the help of major labels begs the question, what is the real value of a record label in today's music business?" And it's a fair question, because the rise of streaming has changed the music landscape forever. To sum up, it's caused the decline of major label dominance and physical sales and downloads. A&R departments, that's artists and repertoire, at labels are no longer as central to discovering and developing fresh talent. Long-term binding contracts have declined. It's caused a steady increase in data-driven analytics. Stream count and viral moments carry more weight than historical or cultural significance. All these things transform the billboards in the process. Songs can debut high and disappear quick, making it tough to gauge true, lasting popularity. We've seen the rise of megahits that cling to charts largely because of dedicated fan bases. We've also seen a nearly unchecked explosion of billboard and statistical manipulation used to boost chart positions and qualify for playlists. But the most fatal blow it struck that few seem to want to talk about is the effect it's had on the fans. Now, there's this crazy imbalance where the true number of artist stans are vastly outnumbered by the amount of casual fans. There was a time where being into your favourite band was practically an entire lifestyle. You were proud to buy a band's merch and help them tour on a shoestring budget. Limited editions and exclusive content like limited run vinyl presses defined an era where fans used to eat, breathe and sleep music. Streaming is largely responsible for what we have now. A culture based on stream counts, clout chasing, power scrolling and trend hopping. So, are we completely buggered?
We are totally and not just like elephant pounding no reach around jungle. Now's not the time to panic.
What can we do to fix it? And how can we heal the culture? As it stands now, the established music industry is in shambles. The billboards are swiftly becoming irrelevant. Quality music is becoming harder and harder to find. Sustained profitability is nearly non-existent. And it's next to impossible for a new artist to come even close to cresting mass appeal because there's no longer a defined path to exposure and platforms are too numerous and divided to consolidate a fan base. Let me know what you think of the current state of the music industry and if you've also noticed recently how music has become less important to culture in general and the effect this has had on all our lives. Stay fierce, tribe.